Welcome, Valpo fans, to another edition of the Valpo Coaches Show, brought to you by Lakeshore Bone and Joint Institute. I'm Aaron Levitt. Joining me today, the head coach of the Valpo softball program, Mike Armitage. Coach, thanks for being here today.
Thank you, Aaron. Appreciate being here.
Just wrapped up the regular season last weekend, looking ahead to the tournament, but want to look back on how this season has transpired for the team. Obviously, massive improvement over the past few years, comparing to last year, more than double the wins overall, a 6-win improvement in MVC play. When you look back at how this season has transpired, how would you evaluate it?
I think progress is a key word. I think that kind of tells us what we've done a little bit. I think there's some things that could have been a lot better, and I know as coaches we always want better, but at the same point, I think we had some games that we passed up that could have been in the win column, and ended up being losses. So the good part is I think that our student athletes recognize that as well, and when they start tallying things up, we finish our conference schedule like you mentioned and we're at 9 wins. And then you look at teams that are 2, 3, 4 seeds higher than us, they're only at 12 wins. And I think about the games that we did not come through that I felt like we probably should have without going above and beyond our capabilities. Um, I think, yeah, I think they have a belief now that they look back on it when they reflect and go, not we could have, it's we should have, and that's gonna pay off, I think, with some work ethic in the off season to make sure that that doesn't happen again.
Want to highlight the play of Azalia Lopez this year, pitcher, second base. She had a couple standout years at MSU Moorhead with you before transferring in before the season and has made the transition pretty well. If you look at her numbers in the circle, a sub-3 ERA at the plate, she hit over 300 in Valley play. What have you seen out of her in terms of her transition to the D1 level and her continued improvement on both sides of the ball?
Yeah, I think the I see the same thing in here today that I saw that attracted me to her as a player, when I saw her play out in Las Vegas. When I first started recruiting her, was she's a competitor, and competitors find a way. I don't care what sport it is. You figure out a way to be competitive at it. You figure out a way to get better at it. And she's is absolutely that. She did a very good job for us up in Minnesota, and she carried that over here. I really like the fact that she accepted the challenge, because it is certainly a challenge going from D2 to D1. I think we're in a solid conference. So that's not like we're going to a league where it's, not far above D2. I mean, I think there's a lot of teams here that are very good teams that may not be having a great seed or whatever in the tournament now, but they're still very high quality teams. So I think it's one of those things that's typical of the MVC. I mean, you have to be ready to play every day. Just when you think that you can show up to the field and take care of a team, all of a sudden you're getting beat 3-0. So I think you got to come ready to compete every day, and I think AZ does that, on a regular basis, and that's really what's helped her, maintain the growth in herself as a ball player and even as a person as well.
Team has played 18 one-run games this year, been in a lot of tight situations, a lot of close games late. Does that help you guys going into a single elimination tournament where you're basically facing pressure from the outset?
Yeah, I think it's something that I don't know if you get used to, or because you've done it so much, you're comfortable in that situation. If I could switch sports a little bit, I mean, a lot of times you get a lot of really good basketball teams that live and die by the blowout, and then they get in a close ball game, and then all of a sudden they're going, man, what do we do? Because we haven't had that pressure in the last 2 minutes that we normally have. So I think it's good that we're in situations. One of the key things I mentioned before, I think on the last show with Aaron, was our kids will continue to fight. Sometimes I think we wait a little bit too long to fight. It's not because they want to do that. It's just kind of been our MO this year. And when we get our back against the wall and we're either facing our last at bat or we're getting close to that and we're getting the sixth or seventh inning and we realize, geez, we better get going here, or this isn't going to end well. So I think that's something that we have to learn to do to get better. But being in those 1-run situations, 2-run situations, and we've put up 3, 4, 5 runs in an inning before, so I think the belief is always there until the last out's made. But yeah, I mean it's definitely, I think, to our advantage that we've been able to win some of those one-run games, but we've also lost some one-run games too. So I think it's something that we'll just have to continue to use as a growth pattern to make sure that we can continue to be a better team in the future. And we'll have a great opportunity here because it's a different feeling when it's, win or go home than it is, win or, then we have practice the next day. So it's a different feeling, but I'm looking forward to the challenge. I'm sure my kids are too.
Tournament starts on Wednesday. Quite simply, what is it going to take for your team to make a run in the tournament?
Well, I think right now, I use the analogy of golf a little bit. I kind of use off the tee box as kind of our pitching, and our iron play on the fairways has been our hitting. I'm sorry, has been our defense, and then when we get on the green, our putting has been our offense. And sometimes we score runs by stealing a base here or there, creating a little bit of havoc on the bases, and sometimes we can just hit. Sometimes we take advantage of walks, but the bottom line is our putting is inconsistent, and our putting has to get better. I think our fairway play, our defense has been a lot more solid as of late. I can't think of a game where we put up more than one error a game, and we put up a few goose eggs here and there with in the error column as well. So, and I think overall there's been a little bit of a hiccup here or two here or there, well, with the pitching, but overall our pitching's been pretty solid all year. I like what our kids have done as far as growing in that, and also through that you're realizing what I need to do to get better because we'll have our whole pitching staff back next year. So I think having the most complete golf game, I guess, is probably the best way to say it. I mean, our driving has to be well. We got to do well at that, and we have to do well with the iron play, and we got to figure out a way to putt. So I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. I think our kids are. I think it's just it's that excitement that you get that you should have about this time of year, and you can win and move on and create a bigger situation for that next game. And then if you do well, then all of a sudden you get to the final four and you're going, holy cow, we really got something going here. So I think the excitement and just the end of the year typical things that happen, and I think I'm excited for it. I know our kids are excited for it too.
Tournament begins Wednesday afternoon, 4 p.m. against Bradley, with a win Thursday, 4 p.m. against Belmont. Semifinal would be Friday at 4 p.m. Championship game Saturday at 1 p.m. All those games can be seen on ESPN Plus. Coach Armitage, thanks for joining me. Good luck in the tournament.
Perfect. Thank you. I appreciate it.
This has been the Valpo Coaches Show, brought to you by Lakeshore Bone and Joint Institute.